There comes a time in many of our lives when the once vibrant colors of existence begin to fade. Days that used to bring excitement and joy now feel like monotonous routines. You wake up, go through the motions, and at the end of the day, you're left wondering where the magic of life has gone. It's as if something deep inside has dimmed and nothing seems to light it up again. Perhaps you've achieved the things you thought would bring happiness, or maybe life's setbacks have drained the sense of wonder you once had. If you're here at this juncture, feeling detached and unable to fully engage with the world around you, you are not alone. Many people experience this phase, a stage where the joy of living seems to slip through their fingers like sand. What was once fulfilling now feels empty, and what once excited you now feels dull. But what does it mean when nothing feels enjoyable anymore? Is it a sign that something is deeply wrong, or is it part of the human experience? And more importantly, how do you navigate this space and find your way back to joy, the loss of wonder? As children, we are naturally curious, filled with wonder and excitement for the world. Life feels vast and full of possibilities. The simple act of observing a flower, feeling the wind on your skin, or laughing with friends can fill your heart with joy. Every day is a new adventure. But as we grow older, responsibilities and expectations start to mount. The world becomes less magical and more pragmatic. What once captivated our attention now becomes ordinary, and we begin to focus on survival rather than experience. The bills need to be paid, work deadlines must be met, and societal pressures demand that we fit into molds that may not suit us. It's easy to lose sight of what brings us joy when life's complexities overshadow the simplicity of happiness. Many of us end up chasing external achievements, believing that success, wealth, or recognition will bring back that lost sense of fulfillment. Yet even when we accomplish our goals, the sense of satisfaction is often fleeting, leaving us with a lingering emptiness. The weight of expectations. One of the most significant contributors to the loss of joy is the weight of expectations, both external and internal. Society tells us that happiness is found in success, material possessions, and status. We are constantly bombarded with images of people who seem to have it all together, living lives that appear perfect on the surface. This comparison game can lead to a deep sense of inadequacy and dissatisfaction with our own lives. Internally, we may set expectations for ourselves that are unrealistic or unattainable. We tell ourselves that we'll be happy when we reach a particular milestone, but when we get there, the happiness is short-lived. The bar for fulfillment keeps moving, and we find ourselves chasing an elusive sense of satisfaction that never quite arrives. When our reality doesn't align with these expectations, it can lead to feelings of disappointment and frustration. Over time, this can erode our ability to enjoy the present moment. Instead of appreciating what we have, we focus on what we lack or what we think we should be. The numbness of routine. Another factor that contributes to the loss of enjoyment is routine. While structure and routine are essential for stability, they can also dull our senses and make life feel predictable and monotonous. When every day starts to look the same, it's easy to slip into a state of autopilot, where we go through the motions without really experiencing life. This numbness can be subtle at first. You might still do the things you used to love, going for a run, meeting friends, watching your favorite shows, but they don't feel the same. The joy is muted, the excitement diminished. Over time, you might stop doing these things altogether, feeling that they no longer serve a purpose. This is a dangerous cycle, because the more we disengage from life, the more we reinforce the belief that nothing is enjoyable anymore. The less we participate in the activities that once brought us joy, the more disconnected we become from ourselves and the world around us. The emotional armor. Life can be incredibly painful. We experience loss, heartbreak, disappointment, and suffering. To protect ourselves from this pain, we often build emotional walls, numbing our feelings in the process. This defense mechanism helps us cope with difficult situations, but it can also leave us feeling disconnected from the positive emotions as well. When we shut down emotionally, we might protect ourselves from pain, but we also close ourselves off from joy, love, and fulfillment. The walls we build to keep out the hurt become the very barriers that prevent us from fully experiencing life. It's important to recognize that this emotional armor, while helpful in times of crisis, can become a prison if we don't allow ourselves to feel again. Life is meant to be felt in all its complexity, the highs and the lows, the joy and the sorrow. To truly live, we must be willing to open ourselves up to both the beauty and the pain of existence. Rediscovering joy. So, how do we find our way back when nothing feels enjoyable anymore? The first step is to acknowledge where we are. Denying or suppressing our feelings only prolongs the process. It's okay to admit that you feel stuck, lost, or numb. These feelings are valid, and they're a part of the human experience. Once we've acknowledged our state, the next step is to take small actions toward rediscovering joy. This might involve revisiting activities that once brought us happiness, even if they don't feel the same right now. It might mean trying new things, stepping out of our comfort zones, and being open to new experiences. It's important to be patient with ourselves during this process. Joy is not something that can be forced or manufactured. It must be cultivated slowly and mindfully. Sometimes, it's about finding joy in the small, everyday moments. A quiet cup of coffee in the morning, a walk in nature, or a meaningful conversation with a friend. Reconnecting with others is also crucial. When we feel disconnected from life, we often isolate ourselves, thinking that no one understands what we're going through. But in truth, many people have experienced similar feelings. Reaching out to loved ones, sharing our struggles, and allowing ourselves to be vulnerable can help us feel less alone and more connected to the world around us. Embracing the seasons of life. One of the most profound realizations we can have is that life moves in seasons. Just as the earth goes through cycles of growth and dormancy, so do we. There will be times when we feel alive, inspired, and full of energy, and there will be times when we feel stuck, uninspired, and numb. Rather than resist these cycles, we can learn to embrace them. Winter will eventually give way to spring, and the feelings of numbness will give way to renewed joy. It might take time, but it will happen. The key is to remain open and patient, trusting that the difficult times are a necessary part of the journey. During these low periods, it's essential to nurture our inner world. Creativity, reflection, and mindfulness can help us reconnect with ourselves and the world around us. By tending to our inner garden, we can create the conditions for joy to grow again. The power of perspective. One of the most powerful tools we have in rediscovering joy is perspective. How we view our circumstances has a profound impact on how we experience them. When we're in the midst of a difficult time, it can be easy to focus on what's wrong, what's missing, or what's not working. But by shifting our perspective, we can begin to see the beauty and opportunity in even the most challenging situations. This doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties or pretending that everything is okay when it's not. Instead, it's about finding the silver linings, the lessons, the growth, the small moments of peace that can help us move through the tough times with grace and resilience. Albert Camus once wrote, "In the depth of winter, I finally learned that within me there lay an invincible summer." This quote reminds us that no matter how bleak things may seem, there is always a part of us that is resilient, hopeful, and capable of joy. When nothing feels enjoyable anymore, it's often because we've lost sight of that invincible summer within ourselves. But it's still there, waiting to be rediscovered. By shifting our perspective, embracing the seasons of life, and taking small steps toward reconnecting with joy, we can find our way back to a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling. If you're feeling lost or detached, remember that this is a season, not a permanent state. With time, patience, and small steps, you can reignite the spark within you and rediscover the joy that has always been a part of you. Life, in all its complexity, is still filled with beauty and wonder. You just have to allow yourself to feel it again. I hope this video brings you some peace and encouragement. Please share your thoughts in the comments below. And remember that you're not alone on this journey. As always, wishing you a beautiful day.